completely clear. You see, I made a live on probably the day before yesterday, and I, with total blind reason, none reasoning, deleted it. So even if there are zero instances that come into this, I'm not here for any sort of YouTube fame. I'm not here for any of that. I am I like to be a boring person. I like to watch other people's content, but I have to because there is no remedy in this state. I've not been over the country, but I thought that I've made calls of the country unless they have through trace hop diversion been literally taken over or literally redirected through trace hopping to other illegitimate or subversive culture call centers that are known in cults and other aspects. There's been but I have aspected lawyers. I have aspected every part of enforcement that CIA, FBI, the White House, because the Rangers, like nothing. No, and these people continue, and I'm going to read you off a list of people that are within my life because it's nothing that I've let out and it's nothing that I've let in. That so I'm trying to help investigators help me. But these people, and some of them are part of the good old boys club, and some of them are part of fraternities. Let me tell you something: human trafficking and literally invade life invasion and of stalking is a very serious matter. I don't want to be trained. I don't want to be hazed. I have the most aspectual disrespect for this city in particular. I've not been all over the United States. By this point, I don't think that I'm trying to. I want whatever this place. I just want to be in a different country. I'm just being completely honest. All of these people that are around in the environments and around these different places, like they're trying to help or they feel sorry. If you feel sorry, then help me to get because all of my everything's been taken from me. I've been stripped of all my car with force. I've been stripped of all my credit cards, all my bank accounts. People have gotten everything in my name. I've literally been stripped of pushed out of my habitation with force and having to relegate to live in literally anywhere that's not a home. And literally, hi, how are you doing, Miss K? Thank you. I literally have been taken into and maneuver around different facilities like a sick joyride. And it's not a matter of being a punk because I'm not that. I was trained in karate when I was in middle school. I have I had my belts in the ceiling. I can contain myself if the matter were to be a physical altercation that's within 12 inches of myself, or 6 inches in which you can instill to use force upon a person enacting themselves. So I'm not unreasonable. What is the case is that normal people, it's this is not again about vagrants or normal people can be handled. This is aspects of people, as I've stated in previous lives. Everyone should go check those out. I'm not trying to be famous. I'm just telling my truth because hopefully, as I've stated to people, I've had to call suicide hotlines before. I would never want this to happen to somebody else. I want this to be the last example that this happens to. And like as I stated, I need this for my records. This is not a matter of it going viral or going anything else. This enterprise of interconnected people, I'm touching my heart. They can go viral. They can go viral. They've stolen plenty of the other, shorts and things that if they weren't talking about something, even though it's talking about criminal behavior, these people are literally transferring them so that they can get paid off of mirror accounts. And this is another aspect of electronic data tampering. But everything that I've called out about the law has been accurate. The only reason I have so much aspectual certain knowledge about certain aspects of law is because of the hell that I've been through in regards to what's going on. People would think at our modern quote unquote aspectual society that it's horrific about what I went through. There are plenty of people that I've been through in plenty of communities and that have literally just hugged me for no, and I don't know these people, a lot of people are touch me not type persons. And one person in particular, a woman, I still remember you, Miss Red Mercedes, you said to me that, wow, people are still doing this to people. And that lets me know that it was very much something systemic. She did was out of vagrant. She wasn't from my community. I was in another different, well-to-do, better community, and so that's how I know that it's very much systemic oppression. It's very much insider type of privy of insistences, whether you're in your fraternal order of whatever aspect that your non-elite fraternity is. And even if you are enacting, and some of and it's two of you that I'll name, you have been in fraternities. And I'm not sure that it's your entire fraternity. I'm not even sure that you pay dues. I'm not even sure that they know that you have your goddamn, you have your letter jacket on a homosexual site that you are using to draw and lure people from. But I mean, if that's your identity aspect of what a fraternity is, then I'm not with it. I'm not in college, so I don't aspect to be anything that's insistent upon getting hazed. And you don't haze grown people, you exploit them, and that's a part of the aspects that I'm going to read off, just so I don't get off track. I was very much vehement, upset very much last time with excited utterance, which makes sense in court to get me my money, but it's what it is. And when people ask about who they are, and as I've stated, it may not be an insistence, and let me decline that. It may decline, excuse that. It may not be an insistence of calls that don't even come through, but at the moment that I'm making a live, because there is long range acoustics on me. These are very much, and people, as I stated, you would think that either you would be played crazy, or you think that I'm lying. And people that are in those media stations, people that pretty much, and I don't want to call off the media station. I don't want to be targeted much more, because Lord knows I've been through enough. I've literally lost my entire life. I'm a grown person without even 50 cents to like buy anything. I can't even get my own food. I'm literally bombarded by people blockading me, even if I try to get shop. I've literally been told I can't go to this location, this hotel, this that. I've been through the whole thing. It's the communication of subversive cultures that are enacting with the blue collar working class, and it's aspected into embezzlement, which is in the insistence of money laundering. That's a part of this enterprise, which is organized criminal activity that has literally sucked and drained my life to pieces. I don't care what you are a part of. The people that I'm going to name off that are quote unquote friends, you're not my friends. It's just like what your Bible said. You go to them buildings every Sunday, and you can't be lukewarm with me. You cannot consort with the with the enemy, or cohort with the enemy, and then come and say that this is good for your life. It's not good for my life. I've been through too much. When you have to ask doctors, are you going to die? I, I don't have time to play silly games. I have to move forward, make sure I become healthy and have a healthier aspect than what was before. Learn whatever lessons I need to learn and keep it going in a trajectory that makes functional and reasonable sense to a reasonable minded person. I don't have time to play it. And it's really concerning when you have adults playing teenage games as if they are in a college fraternity. I don't, maybe you went to college, but you're not in college anymore. You don't need to be reliving some sort of whatever you're trying to do, or using, because now you've gotten a certain particular type of job, your job's technologies to hunt down your ex or whomever your ex messed with or whomever you're jealous with, because the person that you're dealing with doesn't really want you and they only wanted your money. And I don't have to have all of those types of insistences because you're going to want me, not my money. And that's how it's always been, with my skinny ass. It's just, it's not going to be any other way. And at the same time, not great. If somebody does not want you, they don't want you. You need to move on. There is somebody else that wants you. They're going to put you through hell because you are literally trying to bribe them, and you're creating these crimes of passion. This is law. and putting me in it. I don't want to be in no love triangles. I'm going to tell you exactly. I have whores. Do you have whores? We can fuck up. And I don't even. And I'm just being facetious at the moment, but literally, that's emotional intelligence. You would say exactly these literal, absurd things, and I have, and people would still want you more. No, my name is not James. Yeah. Oh, maybe they're talking about something else. I try to be engaging, but maybe I should just keep talking because it's like I said, it's not. I appreciate anybody giving a look. That's very, your observation is appreciated. As I've stated, some people, it's not woe is the world. This most definitely goes on to a lot of different people. So let me just read up because and it has to be this aspect of, because I have to do the job of what law enforcement is supposed to be doing. I really don't care about anything being tipped off or anything. I'm tired. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this. It may seem lame, but hey, at least I'm not cussing and all that, whatever I did on these past videos. Hopefully somebody caught that and you put it on something else. Cause I put a ticket in to sit for YouTube. I just, within what I have, cause everything's been taken out of my life. I've been literally taken away of my entire living aspects of, as a grown person. I think teenagers make more money than I'm sure they do. Like, and they get, better jobs, just like the persons that are involved in this organized criminal activity, especially. And I don't have anything in regards to people that do adult work, but because I don't, I'm kind of penalized in this type of society. But let me just go off. So we have Jay Misha. Jay Misha, you should know who you are from The Landing here. This is a non-government organization. And so I just tell to you that I'm going through aspects, and this is a place that helps persons that are being trafficked or victims that are involved in human trafficking. And so I gave some of my personal identifying information, which was name and social security number. I never got a call back from any of those people at the organization to continue the insistence of what was aspected towards myself. And I should have taken a picture once I left the facility, but I did not. So even in this case, you seem like you would have been the color aspects of the flavor of some certain people that have, and everyone that is named has gotten tried. This is a part of human trafficking, the aspect they take apart, or they take your entire contact list in your phone and they go through it so that they create isolation. They either give these people the boyfriend or girlfriend experience, they date them, they flirt with them, they call them, and then they give them all these aspects so that they can then become enamored with the person doing this sort of false flirting, giving them comfort such as sexual favors and enacting bribery, so that they're totally wrapped up in this, this false emotion. And literally, if they were people that could help you out, they're not helping you out at that insistence. So we have you. This is so that law enforcement knows, before I go off and, because I will, and start using my rockets and start shooting. And I have the right to not use this, I'm gonna say not deadly force, but I do. I've been enacted this equal measure. So the proportion is that I can enact my Second Amendment rights to use force, and I'm going to use deadly force. I just would have to go, as I stated, I'm going to eat ice cream and watch cartoons. I'm just going to have to go to the psychiatric ward because it's going to be, what it is. I'm tired of people trying to kill me. And certain people go through that every day. Dignity. I'm tired of it being so disproportionate that it's what it is. It's for my life. I'm not lame. I'm not the people in this organized group. You're lame. You fuck for a living, and then you try to pretend that you have a normal job while you fuck for a living. You fuck for a living. You have children, and you still pay for your children with my money. And you save up money by fucking and dropping money in money bags across this city that I've not gotten. But Elijah Burney and his group, they've gotten $30,000, and maybe that's from the Chiquita, the strip club here, like that they go to. Next is a Jemiah. Jemiah. Speaking of Jemiah, female, your birthday's what, about October, late September? You know about the Chiquita because Elijah Burney's a good tipper, right? Now, so if you're not, and then again, these people are not If they are not involved, then they have direct information about what's going on because they feel sorry. And if any of these people feel sorry, you need to corroborate what the hell I'm saying if you have not done so already. I'm sorry that happened, but my whole life is out there. So, and I've never meant for it to be. And it's what it is. You can kill me. I mean, they already have tried to do this, and they also includes persons that would be, so let's say Elijah Burney, you are what your birthday is around February, and aspected. You've been aspected with a person named DJ. DJ, your parole officer, I'm sure, has aspects to insist upon if you have not been implemented into crime because you are on parole. So you would have lesser of an aspect than these people. You may know of information. So could you corroborate what these aspects are? And Elijah Burney, your cousin's officer Tolliver, correct? Not if in these persons, if they and I wholeheartedly get it. Police officers, this goes way. If this is over the aspects of the DOJ and FBI, what is a mere officer going to do? So I'm not getting at you. You could be retaliated against it. You can be literally 60 police officers quit across the country every day. So that means it's great harassment in some of those enclaves as well. It's not all of enforcement. It's not all of it, people in administrations. It's not all of it, but it definitely is a lot of other people that have done a lot of dirty bidding towards this time. We also, as I stated, we have the um, Lester. Lester, your birthday is around what? A late August, September. Yeah, and I guess used to work at what, an Olive Garden here in the city. We also have a Willie. Your birthday would be around March, or late February. We also have a James. Your birthday would be around May or June, correct? These Willie and James should be in their 30s, it seems. We also have a Nigel, Nagee. Nigel, you have a black truck. And so these, like I said, if these people are not involved, they very much know what's going on. Hi, um, persons that are speaking that are named in this thread, I guess. We have a Tomika. Tomika, you from Sterling Point Apartment. Your birthday is around October, November. I'm just giving out the list. If I'm crazy, then how? If some of these people, since I'm not the one to tip off or, destroy the aspects of an investigation, like this is the evidence that I'm not crazy, and we're not gonna play that. It's not magic. It's not wonderlust. It's not, in just inadvertent type of aspects of persons. Excuse me. It's directly what the hell is going on in your own environment. We also have the Sterling Point Apartments on Hillcroft in Bel Air. There's a Vicky. Vicky, your birthday is around April, and you are, of course, Black female. We have Janicia Kinsey. Your birthday is February, around February, right? February 6th. And we'll continue to go around. We have Ishmael Price. We have Harold Smith. Harold Smith, your birthday is around January. Ishmael Price around March. We have Carrie. Your birthday is around December. We have a Masakila Malone, and this is senior. Your birthday is around February. We have a Masakila Jr. Your birthday is October 6th. We also have Isanique Fuller. Your birthday is around January. We also have, let's continue because these people, they've either been inundated, they went through it so that they can corroborate, because it's not woe is me. So other people have been through these things. And so we just want to make sure that since other people I don't give a fuck. You're just going to have to really try, or the enterprise, to whoop my ass or do whatever, but they're going to continue to use long range acoustical devices, use electronics, use subversive aspects that have been learned in whatever fraternity order that they've been a part of to make themselves seem coercive or in control, or use coercion as a form of control to enact aggravated stalking invasion, sabotage, and attack, and that's for burden of proof for the prosecution. So we also have you have that Peaches. That's the nickname. I don't know the real name. Peaches, your birthday is around January. We also have Kevin. That's your spouse or your boyfriend, your husband. His birthday is around that should be December. That's it. You have a child. So I guess I won't name the children in this aspect, but you have a child. So we have Joseph Gwynn. Your birthday is around September, correct? Then we have a Marlo. Your birthday is around August or June. Marlo is a female. They are spouse with Joseph Gwynn. Again, they may have information if you're not involved. These are also family members. We have a Carl. Carl, you were once married to my mother, correct? This is a black male. And then we have, of course, my mother. And then on this other aspects of Deborah, then we have excuse me, because I'm having to look up close. I'm not trying to put the nerd glasses on right now. Then we have Andre Relford Sr. Then we have Andre Relford Jr. These Andre Relford Senior, your birthday should be around August, June. Andre Jr., your Relford, your birthday should be around what, May or June, late May, June, or early July. We also have Kimberly Relford. These are all family members. Your birthday should be around October, September. Again, if these people have information, if they feel sorry, then they would be telling about this. We also have a Day Sharon, or nickname that you're called Day Day. Your birthday should be around August or June. Tramika Hamilton, your birthday should be around, or if I'm saying it correctly, that you are our last coworker, it should be around March. We have a Tanitra Glover. Your birthday should be, and I'm not sure, but you've done types of security, correct? Maybe sorts of harm has happened to yourself in these enactments, that because if you've helped me and you've been retaliated against, I would, you should be getting compensated in some type of way, because I know I'm going to make sure that I have a template. Then we have a Kanisha Malone. We have Roy Malone. These persons are in music that I've been aspected within the city. I do music, but I don't speak of that. That's not the aim of what I'm doing. I'm not aspecting some sort of punch for that. But these people would know about aspects. People that are involved in music, they go through crazy shit. And so my life is crazy. There's a crystal that aspects with. I'm not sure if you know about something that is. I can't. I'm not gonna name this particular groups. That's not fair. So I don't know what that could be. We also have a person named Dwayne. Dwayne, your birthday should be around October, November. Then we have a I was going to be. I was very, very upset. I was going but some of these people have been inundated. I'm going to give your names, but I was going to give phone numbers, but maybe I shouldn't. I mean, even if they're changed, your last known. We have a Damien. Your birthday is October, November. We also have a Danny. Danny, your birthday is around June, August. We have a Jason. We have Jay. People within armed is correct. If you've had the privy to understand what has been going on for the instances of persons enacting their electronic data tampering. And since it's not you, then your actual insistence of, I'm not sure what's been added yet. Nothing's been detailed towards myself about any investigations, and we have to do everything correctly. And then I'm going to go all the way to fuck off. I'm going to go all the way to fuck off because my life's been torn apart, but I've had to make sure, just like in that fucking movie Enough, when people used to watch movies, everything used to reset in culture. But when people used to watch movies and, that Jennifer Lopez shit, like, her husband was all abusive and all this weird shit. Like, she had to make sure she went to go learn to fight. I already know that shit. And she had to make sure she got weapons, for the woman character. And she made sure that she got everything just correct, so that on the final time when the antagonist because in all of, lore, you have the antagonist becomes a protagonist, the protagonist, that it all flips around. Those some say the tables turn. She had to make sure that she did everything correctly, just so that, because when the police get there, because they are going to come, y'all like to come, when something bad happens, I'm going to say what. And I've been told by a few police to, and do what I need to do, because of the literal egregious and shocking nature of what has gone on in my life. And so, and this is a statute under the federally as of what, 2022, for persons that are aspected with being stalked and are trafficked, and the inundation is so absolute that you have the right to use force. Now, I did not say deadly force, but in law, you do match the proportion. Use deadly force. I'm going to use deadly force as well. I just might not use all the bullets in the. Yeah. So next we have Jarrell, another Junior. We have Gonzalez. Gonzalez, you did security well. We have Eddie. You two are on camera with your aspects and that you were a bit coercive out of my insistence of what I was, what I was doing to secure my bag and make my money, and very much harassment. I don't care if you were playing. I don't care if you were told to do something. Whatever you were going through, it literally had me forced off of how I make my money, and nothing else came after the fact to say, Tada, oh, we were just playing. I still was without. That is literal, that's coercion, party to stalking, the most serious statute enactment or category within its insistence. The statute would be organized criminal activity. This should be 20 to 99 years if you were to actually follow the law. But humans have more nuances and sensitivities. They don't follow it, so then people are in jail for 5 years. If you would do it, then you would have cultures like Japan that barely have crime. Cultures like Korea, people like to talk about them. Oh, it's communistic aspect in here, but they have lesser of crimes because they actually make sure that their laws literally insist upon the public to keep it worthy of an investment aspect in place. Who wants to invest in a country full of crime? And who wants to invest in countries that are so polarizing that they only wait till TV comes to do something about it? We have Shay. Your birthday should be around December. We have Junior, your late 20s, early 30s. We have another Junior. This is February or March. We also have a Colorado. This birthday should be October, like late September. You may have information about what went on inside of aspects. This is a nickname. We have an Aisha birthday around December. You've lived in Colorado, correct? So you may have information again with the entirety of the aspects that are with a Tila. Birthday should be around, let's say, May, June. Another aspect that with no Aisha, we have a Laren. Birthday should be around a Mel. Birthday should be around May, June. A Lamar University aspect insisting. We have a Joseph of Lufkin, Texas. Lamar University again. There's and good old friend Nikita, like birthday around January or so, would have information about what's going on in that regard. I'm not sure what she knows about Joseph or what Joseph knows of what's going on. We also have a Jamel. Jamel, you is now a woman. Very, very good looking, by the way. Nice, you got your Bruce Jenner on. There's what's the name? What's the name? Reggie. That's also, these are people of Beaumont, Texas. People that went to school at Lamar University. There's also a Will. Will, your birthday is around June, July. You should be around your mid 40s. There's also a person nicknamed that your friend Romeo. We also have another person named, let's see, I'm just trying to be, Adrian, birthday around February, Lamar University. You should be, I guess, in your late 30s. We also have a Patrick West. We have Vanda West. We have daughter Vanda Skeeter. Skeeter's the nickname, sorry. And if these people, like I've said, I'm naming everybody to give aspects to these investigators before I have to do my bidding. I'm like, people, it's I've not just been dispersed, it's whatever is in your web, they have information or these things have happened to them because I know them. Things don't just happen in isolated things. Humans are greedy. They happen in clusters. People have been in relationships. People like to retaliate against other people that they see in and if people have, and if people have ever seen you, you can be around somebody one time of any of these persons and whomever that they don't deal with anymore, who's had an ulterior aspect, could wholeheartedly go into their own arsenal of insistence and say, "Hey, I seen it. I remember that. That has no direct, close connection to me. I'm going to implement this quasi terror scheme against them just because shit, I saw them and it's an opportunistic feed, having nothing to do with the people that I've named off. Hopefully, but if it is, these are who I'm helping the investigators before I have to go out and come down like the collector, right? Because I'm so good, right? We also have now we have a Shaquaria Relford. This is your brother aspects of Andre Jr. Parents, Kimberly, Andre. I'm not aspecting that these persons have in any way, but I'm sure that a lot of people feel sorry for me. I mean, they just come out of nowhere and hug me. People, a woman, and I remember. Let me do this shout out, and it's I may have zero views, but I'm still able to do a shout out. Miss Ma'am, you at a particular grocery store, you gave me you gave me some flowers. Like people, if they know me, I like looking up things that have to do with nutrition. I may not follow all the aspects, especially since I'm not in my place of safe recluse in my own insistence, which the metadata and my bank logs would show that what I bought. I mean, I would eat the same thing every day as long as it was a bit more healthier than what I was doing 5 years ago or something but I'm not on any type of machoism in that fact. She gave me flowers, like so you give me flowers, I'm going to eat them. But you put them on some fish, do something. I'm gonna read what type of nutritional aspect they have. But I even put something in there. Some of these things have zero. I'm not worried about video suppression that goes on through these different cyber crimes, and that's aspecting under cyber stalking and also computer fraud and abuse statute violation. But I do, that's that's something to be remembered. Thank you. I was of course having another terrible day because of the total inundation of life invasion, sabotage, and attack that's gone on with my life. Melinda, you are Stephanie's sister. Stephanie, Melinda, your birthday's around October, November. Stephanie, you know, that's the only Stephanie I know. So I don't need to say that aspectual birthday, but I'm sure that these people have information. I've not wanted to bring any hell around persons, but I've noted certain characteristics that were going on with myself. And if I've been connected to people, this is not something where people like they like people like unassuming things. People do things. So these persons, I'm compelling them to be aspect that is not involved or having information. It's actually doing a favor so that at the point of admonishment, meaning when something comes to kick in, you're not like, oh my God, I didn't go get a police report. I didn't go get anything to just even a number. You can make that online to say that this is an account that could help the investigators to piece this together and put me out of it so that I'm not party, because you're going to be party. And even if you've not known about the entirety of a scheme and you still enacted, gave comfort, you aided and abetted any one of these integrated conspirators in any type of way under law of party and liability clause, you are liable for the other persons that you've provided comfort. You let them sleep in your house. You let them eat in your house. You've given, without those amenities and aspects, they would not have been fueled or charged enough to continue their rampant furtherance of engaging in organized criminal activity and or fraudulent schemes and other criminal behaviors towards myself, at least, and others that you may know that has happened as well to you. After Melinda, we have an AJ. AJ is your best friend. I'm not sure of their birthday. We have a BJ. BJ, you come from Third Ward. Is that correct? After that, we have Bertha. Bertha, that's the only Bertha I know, so we're not gonna have the last name. Your birthday's around October. Then we have Gabriel. Gabriel, your birthday's around October, November. That's the only damn Gabriel I know. So we need to make it. And two, you know, if you've had a set you did you on a specific clip on a television aspect, like the daily news around here for what you do as is in your profession. And so I think that you've had an encounter with somebody that you know about what's going on in this whole query. If it's is in, I mean, Michael's the only one with the camera. Michael, I'm sure you know many people around this city. So I'm sure you don't care about your name being out there, because if it's not yourself, or it's the people in this list, some of them that are going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs over yourself, sir, for whatever reasons. I don't want to be a part of those reasons. I never have, and everyone that does that, that's great. But I don't know why there are, insistences towards myself that goes on as retaliation, and this is it's going to be taken seriously. It's a retaliation against, disabled. I don't wear anything on my sleeve. I don't need to, but it's because I try. I pick up my bed and walk. Like we also, the people at Club Houston, on around, let's say you go a few the streets left of 2100 Trafford Street, downtown. Should we tell the people what Club Houston is? It's a nice little sort of club where you can get your yayas out, right? Like a lot of y'all do it. I don't have anything against club. You're not at all. A lot of these people like to hide in these damn different places and act like they don't do shit, and then come out to say that, but you're literally, and then you start trying to control other people's, you know, behavior, that like to go to Club Houston and just, frequent. Next would be Caleb. Caleb, you know Jennifer. Jennifer, you know Jennifer. I know. You at Gentry. You two are connected, correct? Caleb. We're talking about the Caleb that's like of African descent. So we also have Rodney. Rodney, you're the only Rodney I know. Like, and you stated something. That's why I won't put. Let me make sure my nose is clean. I'm not gonna put your last name out there because you stated one thing long ago, and I will aspect this. You did do some sort of aspecting things, because I think someone was coercing you into that. So we're gonna say that's coercion through intimidation through yourself, because of being a proxy to myself, which an outside insistent of conspirator were trying to insist to use an administrative tool of someone that was in a working environment to do their enactments by bribery toward yourself, whether it was given or not. You are still aspected if you pulled out. So we're going to go with that. So you say that you didn't agree with certain things that were going on when you worked in corrections, correct? In jail. So we got that. We have Adrian. Adrian, this is just, we got Adrian Yarman. Adrian Yarman, you're from Mississippi, correct? What your birthday's around May, and so Adrian, you've always been a bit helpful. What I'm aspecting is people that are helpful, they try to take these persons out of the insistence of myself, so that they can try to take over these persons' life. This is another through electronic this is through invasion of a computer device, which is a cell phone as well, and through electronic data tampering to get the phone number to then like take over your habitation, and now you're suffering or something. And I'm sure that's going on as well. And then we have a Kevin of Michigan. Kevin, your birthday is around September, October. Kevin was very I'm gonna say that this is another Kevin. That's why I differentiated them from the Peaches Kevin for enforcement, because they've never been or acted in any type of, erotic, weird type of erratic type weird way towards myself. So, but you've had your own resources, and when people have their own resources, this little bribery enterprise likes to come in and facilitate themselves inside of your house, your place, like they did mine, and try to run game and stuff like. So you may have information as well. We also have then we got Michael, what channel are you from? Say it, like, say it loud and proud, like it. Yeah. And if you have cameras around here, pick up the right shit and keep motherfuckers from trying to, or you can't, you're not law enforcement, just record the shit that you sent or give your account about what's going on about this trafficking that's going on with me, since you like to collect stories. Anyway, we have Katie. Katie, I am very sorry about what's going on in your life. You need, I'm sure, and you can give the account of the egregious nature and literal unconscionable aspects and actionable ones that are going on to myself, because I've understood something very much that you told me. And yes. So after that, we have Renee. Renee, not so Renee. I'm not gonna say your last name. Renee, your birthday is in July, correct? I told yourself about certain things. I told a few of these people that I was being terribly stalked in certain ways. Some of you may have believed, some of you need to give your account of what's going on with yourself. If you've been bribed or who took over your house, because Lord knows, after I left, I never went back. The people living up under the stairs, up above in the attic. People are living in attics and things that people are, they're not talking about this, and I'm getting a bit bored, so I need to continue. There's also Rajani. Rajani, your birthday is around February. Rajani, who's tried to be at your facilitation, who's tried to get in your townhouse. Like, you can tell about that. Who's trying to take you over? We have similar types of birthdays. So, yeah. Ryan has been, you understand. Um, who's tried to take you over? You felt you need to run away. I need your account, please, sir. We have Sam. Sam, I need your account. Your birthday is around June, July. I'm sure you have information about some of these things that most of these people feel sorry for. We also have Shanika. I've told Shanika, like, I've had this, Shanika's a professional in aspects of certain healthcare, what's been going on for a long time. A lot of times I can get it, people that have a very normal life or whatever the hell it is, things, what I've gone through, and I'm just doing a boring part right now. It can seem very much, I'm being literally distorted, or having the distortion of the reality, of the perception of reality on purpose by certain people, but it's not crazy. And as I've aspected, have plenty of footage from persons at the, I don't know what number court that is, even persons a little that are, older, they've told me, no, oh baby, these things have been going on a long time. They've been coming in to people's houses or apartments and all of that. They within, the tenant leasing management, they've been, using extra keys. They've been taking clothing out, taking food out, doing these different indoctrinizing aspects, taking your silverware so that that you can't eat, so that you are slowly introduced to what control is, and this is coercion of a handler. Marcus, your birthday is around February, March. I think that, you might be, he's been a cool person. Like, I think that, and well, there are three different Marcuses. Let's just say that. This Marcus, your birthday is around February, March. You're a similar type of birthday like mine. Um, you've been run out of your house. You've been literally trying to tell your account. Some people, because I'm going to give voice to what, some people, they feel like that they're not going to do, or they're not going to be believed, or they're discredited for one reason of extortion or another, but a lot of people have aspect of exploitation, such as myself. Another Marcus, you have a, I'm not sure, you went to the same high school I went to, but you should be in this list too. You went to the same college as I did as well. There's another Marcus, you went to the same high school as I did. Your birthday would be around August, September, correct? There are interplays that still place you in this aspect as well. To have some insistences about to talk. There is a insistence of different briberies in hospitals that have its aspect for certain different doctors. That's bribery of a public servant. That is literally an actionable insistence, and it is a insistence of witness tampering and obstruction as well. There's also Timothy. Timothy, your birthday is around October. There's also you have what is the Terrence? Terrence, you're just it's a Dallas connection, correct? What's going on with that aspect? People, if they're not people, your community knows. It's just like people know. We also have Alex. We have two Alexes. Alex, you left from in a similar instance around me most recently. We're gonna stay, and then you just disappeared. I'm not sure what happened. Um, I think that you know something or something has tried to try you. There's also Ron, you're Alex's brother. Ron, certain people, based on where you were, you have your ear to the ground, you have information because you were not expected to be free floating just cavalierly in other spaces. So during a particular time, you may know of a certain insistence of things that have been going on. Lake of Beaumont, the first name is Lake. I think that you know some things too. I'm gonna have insistent privy because of the persons of the university being situated in that city and that being such a close knit type of small town. I went to college in a small town, like, Anyway, next we have Joel. Joel, you're of Mexican descent. You should be around your mid 20s. What's going on? What information do you have about anything? Next we have Joseph. Joseph, you're of security aspects, your occupation. You have Amao. This is, I guess that's the last name. They're cousins. What do you know? Or look, I don't, I want to put too much. I'm not even angry right now. I mean, I've had some garlic. It could have some nitrous oxide providing me some calms. I've been very upset today. Very upset, as you can see. If you go and look at the past shorts that are on these aspects, they're not being suppressed as to insist upon a daily insistent of a diary almost of what it goes I go through in the insistence of aggravated stalking. We're all made already at this time. You see, I'm getting very tired. And then I have to really facilitate myself because I have to make sure I have somewhere to live in the near future. Time runs out all the time. And I have not any type of reasonable aspects of too much remedies at law for help. So no attorney's office would help me. No anything. I did everything myself without correct, being able to see appropriately. And it's just that again. So we have already talked about Jennifer. We have Jana. Jana, your birthday's around October, November. You are a female like worked with you. Um, there's an aspect you drop me off at my house at different times. So I'm not sure what you may know as well. There's also a Nabil. Nabil is like your husband, Nabil. Nabil, you're from a part of Africa. Like I'm not gonna say the country, but just so it's placed out that they may have information. There are a lot of people that have been very kind, and maybe it's the United Nations or something that have sent literal different ambassadors, because I would be an ambassador from their country as a liaison or witness. I think I need to go back to some of y'all's country with you people. Ooh, we also now have a Dre. Dre, or your birthday should be October. Dre, we went to school together, high school and college. Um, There's also your cousin Rachel. They have information. I'm sure you've been tried. So now that we've gotten that out the way, these I don't let anybody out. I mean, if I miss something, Miguel, what did I say it? Miguel, Chris. Wait, this Chris is your birthday is October, November. We have another Chris. You drive an Escalade, like or something, or you did, or not? What's it called? That Cadillac car, like around your birthday is around June, August, just something like that. Like then we have another. Let's see. Who got it? D, your birthday is around like April. You were used to be living the same complex as Chris, the work out there that the birthday that is in October, November aspects. Marlon, you worked in corrections. I'm not sure if you worked with Rodney, and I'm not sure if they work with my cousins, Arteria and Josh, who are corrections or were corrections officers, that may have information about what's going on. Charles, my uncle, that these people may have information as well. We have Oscar, my uncle. We have a Renee, that's his, you know, aspectual person that may have that information. Anthony, you may have information. This is my siblings aspect. So, of these things that I've given, this is these people haven't been inundated, touched by this, affected by this, or they are complicit in being in any type of way in aiding and abetting, which is a statute. So right now, what we have on the aspect for myself, and so from what I've studied, human trafficking has not met the threshold as of yet, even though there have been aspects of invasive visual recording of myself, of intimate situations, like other people in hotel situations and in most aspectual, public aspects, and even places where I have a reasonable expectation of privacy. But if I'm not exactly engaged in direct coitus or intercourse on film with someone, or someone's making me have sex with somebody, what I'm aspecting is that that does not meet the threshold for human trafficking. So it's still, but it does meet the expectation of extortion. It does meet the expectation of invasive visual recording, and it also meets the expectation of exploitation. So all still serious statutes, all under organized criminal activity, and can all be penalized in a racketeering aspect as well. So all very serious. I don't know why I, was so deadbolt, because I'm like, this is, it's human trafficking. It's because it's just it's involving, I guess gross, inhumane treatment to a person, but that, and then, I guess human trafficking, that they move up along sexual crimes more so, I guess, So that's what the laws are now. I gotta keep going. So right now, and I'm just trying to stay on track. I know this is for my own freaking records. Like, I'm trying to use less expletives. Excuse me, counselors. Like it. And so we also have, even though the other one, I hope someone freaking kept it, and or the tag that I sent in to YouTube to put, to toggle it back in for me. It's been less than a week. I was it was an excited utterance, and that's what is useful in the law non-testimonial aspect to determine and detail my insistence for my claim of tortious infliction of emotional distress, that is due to and shows mental anguish, but for the inundation of this enterprise of organized criminal conspirators, I would not have to be exposed in a type of way so publicly, to as a last result, that the right to or redressing any governmental aspect before people think that I'm nuts for driving a car into a building. They know why. I'm going to go eat ice cream and watch cartoons. And so the next aspect, that, of course, that I'm insisting that, because I want this to be, I'm helping them help, the investigators help me out. Like, just, I'm sure that some of you went to school for it. You're very smart. And I'm doing my Snapple cap reading too. Like, so we have aggravated stalking. So that's this is what, what my insistence about what the hell I'm going through. as explained. It's Penal Code 42072, correct? So we also have human exploitation. This is Penal Code 32.53. We also have extortion, Penal Code 31.03. We also have TDPSA, Texas Data Privacy Security Act violations with the insistence of certain of tangibles, documentations, aspects that are left out with the improper execution of documents that aspect into forgery and or being in different public amenities that would not have been exposed, such as personal identifying information, which is the name, any other aspects of dates of birth that, or into other instances. But for myself, the plaintiff, being able to stay in my place of safe recluse, which is my own habitability where I have a legal right to be with government issued ID and keep all of my files and tangibles to myself. And it's not an aspect of the public facilities being at fault, but for the inundation of being constructively evicted out of my own personal habitation, I would have been able to keep my personal identifying information more private, as is to have lesser exposure to any other conspirator that could be aspected or bribed into being implemented into an enterprise. And you don't have enterprise unless you have persons that are professionals and or all the way back down to the most subversive culture to aspect organizational genius, correct? So we also then have ECPA. This is Electronic Communication Privacy Act violations across the board. And this is the statute that has been insistent upon anything that has to do with the peering into a cell phone, peering into anything that has to aspect extraction, infiltration into a computer device in this type of way. So with this also, we also have electronic data tampering, 33023. This is literally from aspects of RAT, remote access Trojan, using any remote insistence of being able to control a device by aspecting any sort of random applications through any malicious phishing, phishing instances that have been garnered towards the person's phone, or a weird click or phishing text mimicking big business, and you accidentally clicking on these aspects, and now you've introduced some sort of foreign insistence into your phone in this type of way. The injection of malware or use some sort of faulty compartment place that you charge your phone into that's not the actual wall socket. And this is literally making sort of biometric handshakes with your own device and implementing into it what it will by different control aspects of another device. This and then maneuvering it to your own instances, or controlling any part of the battery, implementing different app systems to drain it in order to make the battery life of lesser quality when a person's out in the environment, so that they have to be forced to go into certain buildings where it causes exposure, or be forced to compromise any part where they charge their phone if it does not have their charging block on it, or they're not using a USB condom as it will to protect the aspect, which are like I have to do. They're less than $5 to $6 that I've heard of. This protects you from when you have to be at work. People are going, you're not charging your phone in. I mean, a room is not a room, and you can't just charge your phone in any type of plug, or a console. Though consoles, I'm learning, is dangerous. And in the law, it is the use of any aspect of persons involving an enterprise, the use of the cord, and you are a malicious actor, that is an offense. The use of the charging block, that is insisted upon infiltration, is a different offense. And the console that you've given and had privy knowledge that it was a part of an organized combination of schemes. All three are misdemeanor aspects, or depending on the severity, and they are literally added up and run concurrently, correct, Judge? And so next we have the insistence of juice jacking, Penal Code 3302. This is using or taking cables and extracting information away from them. do not use other people's cables on your phone. If you give someone a cable to use to charge their phone, you need to be under the impression, just like when you give money away, that you're not expecting it back. Or you need to give them an independently aspected charger. You must need to go pay it for it. Pay for it's for them. This can extract information or introduce any type of virus or other aspect into your phone and literally start to do and communicate with your device. Also, standard cords or cables that are aspected on your charging block. They have the D minus D plus aspects that in copper wire, they're not transferring information, but any other aspect you should always be privy to, not use other people's charging cables. You're just going to have to let it go dead. And this is something that handlers or traffickers or, criminal networks are dependent upon when they're trying to control and take you over or leave you without communication when you really need it. Like when you're getting off at 12 a.m. and you've been working and running and doing your job all day, and your phone is literally dead at the aspect, and you get into that Uber or somewhere and they say, oh, you can you can charge I have a console that you can plug your charger into. And remember, a room is not a room, and and a console is not a console. I don't put it. I put it in the wall, like it, two plugs. And also with that, so that's juice jacking. You also then have under this statute, which is, that's the colloquial term. It's under breach of computer security. So this also is knowingly accessing a computer, network, or system, like my security alarm systems, which were at value. I may have gotten them because of my insistent name, but the value is over $1,000. This is a part of what I'm expecting to in court as my as liquid damages in this aspect, and it accumulates to the aspect of theft that these persons that are inside of my habitation are to enact in the Wi-Fi towers in them too, that cannot be returned. So this is a damage towards myself, towards my wireless carriers. You have two of them. This is also an aspect of obstruction obstruction and or because these towers contain information. They contain whomever has been aspecting biometric handshakes and MAC ID addresses on them. So this is an aspect of, let me think, obstruction, spoliation of evidence. That's what that is. Sorry, I'm just a little bit knowledgeable. I'm not the law though. 009. So now after that, we have also under electronic or ECPA, Electronic Communication Privacy Act, we have unlawful interception, 1602 penal code here in this state, as things differ per state. So I need to get out of the country, but I've learned the laws in this state for it's probably helped me not to do some of them because I don't, I'm kind of glad. I have to be an encyclopedia because I don't want to go to state jail. And everybody is going to state jail. And so we also have, we have aggravated, oh my God, aggravated promotion of prostitution. Yes. So, having illicit conduct in my house and you're recording that, then I get to own a proceed of whatever that video is on whatever platform you are on for the duration of that platform as to come out into a court registry. And I'm all about talking about those numbers since you have been inside of my putting your juices everywhere. That's a different juice jacking, and but we're not even on that. So this is Penal Code 4303, continuous aggravated promotion of prostitution. And so the statute that also goes when insisting upon incorporating your criminal enterprise with anonymity within corporate structures and or residential structures that are aspected as management aspects that insist upon federal regard when you do anything that has to do with tenant leasing and or aspecting any other facilitation that a person has had to go through, such as state-funded enclaves of recluse or otherwise for emergency instances and or any emergency aspects such as in the freeze that happened in which the most egregious types of human exploitation were insisted upon my own visual aspects, and the mayor was there. You saw that, and nothing changed. It, they're not very respectful, mayor. They need to be you need to aspect punitive damages to deter them from this aspect in those work clothes. Can I have the job? So this we're gonna go into these Smurf operations, FBI. It's and so we have racketeering, RICO. Racketeering, influence, corrupt organization. Correct. So this is Penal Code 7201. You would charge all, and so with racketeering, you have two predicate acts within a 10-year period of differing instances, two different aspects, but they coincide with the combination of schemes that add up to this. It's been two before this, and we can get the RICO and RICO for the state. We all so we also go with things that are already aspected. We have harassment. We're gonna and you can aggravate that factor. It goes up an insistence of a of its charge based on being organized criminal activity more than three persons aspected in the insistence, and it goes up more of a charge upon vulnerable persons aspected in any type of way. So then that's 42072 that goes hand in hand with that stalking, like it. And so next, we have, oh, here it goes, my favorite one, invasive visual recording. This is Penal Code 2115. Next, we have wiretapping. Invasive audio, you using Alexa, intercoms, and anything to intercept or long-range acoustical devices, and driving around someone's neighborhood and literally standing by their window, paying you, and what those lasers ping off, and then reinterpret with the enactments of the radio waves to give a sequence back to your device. Penal Code 1602 here. I'm just giving you the charges. Like, they may have to be aggregated if there's so many. It's organized criminal activity, 20 to 99 years. Upon a disabled or vulnerable population, this is 35 years to 99. Correct, to life. That's 30 years is most of everybody's life in the United States. People die here at 65. Next is on the then of course we put all of these things under the construct and statute of organized criminal activity, and or can charge with the racketeering as well. To just put all this in a bag. No, so wait, we're not done, and everybody's left. They don't want to be serious today. They want me to holler and stuff like that. But hey, enough people. This is for my record, so that I don't have to keep explaining. Because when you're going, it's one of those days. Just one of them days. You don't have to keep missing a point. Like, I don't want to miss anything, and I want to make sure my attorney doesn't miss anything. Attorney ad litem and high attorney amicus, you're the eyes for the court, so I want to make sure that you have everything too. So in this aspect, we also have selling videos of invasive visual recording, Penal Code 21.15 and Section 2116. Promoting, which includes selling non-consensual recordings of a person in intimate areas or nudity. State jail felony here. Yeah. Nobody talk to me if they may. I'm sorry, I'm getting some time out of my teeth. If they I ate a bit of a burrito too. It might have some orange on there. Excuse me. You know, I'm suffering. I have not gotten paid, so this is not, that's not trafficking. They're not making you have sex. They're not telling you and pushing you. They're just catching you in it. So I get you. Invasive video, that's a visual spine, so that's a visual recording, and you're going under voyeurism, violations. That's a state jail felony. And then we have EMTALA violations. President, hi White House. We have EMTALA, Secret Service. I know you say that his name. EMTALA. We have Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act violations in the form of patient dumping. I've heard plenty of story of other persons that this has happened to. Let me tell you something. When you have a problem with a person, you let law enforcement handle it. You do not enact in any type of way that is retaliatory or under the standard of duty to care in your public servant, a doctor, a nurse, a medical aid, any of it. You use any of those insistent tools that are meant for medical delivery, such as a needle, and it is injury aspecting, it is harmful, it becomes assault with a deadly weapon. It becomes enacting and making yourself party to what the most serious statute crime in this aspect, which is organized criminal activity. And the insistence under that is stalking. And the aspect is assault, which is in this as well, and battery, which we already have met. So you're going to, even if you played a small part, you become party. And under the civil tort, you have become joint and severally liable for the aspect of damages of what I'm insisting of, tortious infliction of emotional distress. It's distressing to be thrown out of a hospital or not be given the aspectual standard of duty to care, as I'm sure most people's insurance enacts, and or especially high Trump RX and high Obamacare, all of these different things that people have going on and their marketplaces, or whatever the hell that they could be signing up for, because you have a person signing them up for insurance should they come into a hospital, because you have your social workers there that are enacting and therefore the insistence of public reprieve, correct? Why would you throw somebody out of a hospital at 3 a.m. that cannot see, and that without the appropriate Uber insistences that are given per insistences of money aspects towards these organizations, and or not have them at least wait in the insistence of an aspectual, respectful, insistent type of way? That's called patient dumping, along with these people's constructive eviction. You do that, you violate the Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act. Patient dumping must provide stabilizing treatment if there is an emergency medical condition. Chronic conditions that insist upon persons that have types of insurance, and it's insisted not because you feel you're not in their body. You take diagnostic tests and you tell that they have an emergency going on. You are to provide the aspectual assistance of stabilizing treatment. Stabilizing. Under this, we have aiding and abetting, and this is aiding any of the you and joining, you're helping, you've consorted, you talked with anybody in this enterprise, you've communicated, you put their name down, you decided to not give them food for 15 hours, but I understand you have to take tests and you need your stomach to be empty. You decided to jam, you decided to take all kind of unnecessary types of tests and insistences to run up the insurance bill, and you literally are trying to aspect insistent incorporation and enjoining yourself with aspects of fraud, and in this type of manner. This is aiding and abetting, just an example. And even if you weren't aware of the entirety of the scheme, if you at any point made yourself a conspirator, you would have insisted upon meeting the criteria for aiding and abetting. 22. Aiding and abetting is Penal Code 7.02. We also have injury to disabled. This is 22.04.
a lot of you don't have to tell your damn business. It should be aspected per HIPAA and per your privacy. Just like people don't know your psychologist is not going to tell how many of you are crazy, especially you in Hollywood. And we still love you and like you and watch you and listen to your shit. But I'm not listening to too much weaponizing shit when these persons. And let me go off on a tangent. They work for businesses. They don't work for you. They don't. That's why some of you. Oh, I met them and they weren't that nice. They don't. They don't. They that you just caught up in some sort of reverie that you are able to witness what they have going on. Whether you're hollering and screaming in an audience or not, they've gotten paid from big business. They've gotten paid from endorsements. They're off far away from your ass. They see you only that damn time they come to that city, and you are just a part of something that's going to get extra bonus money when you get paid for them tickets, pay for all other stuff. They don't need you. Like it. Therefore, all I'm saying is just like they're crazy and their doctors don't talk about anything. Like you don't have to put your business out there. Whatever you got going on, if it qualifies to make you disabled and it's an injury to your ass, that is Penal Code 2204 out for this. That you need to look it up for your states. Thank you, everybody, all around the world. I like it. Yeah. I'm sorry, I got bored. Like it. Wake it up a little bit. Like it. Next, we have cyber stalking. Cyber stalking is very, now this is what brings you into federal territory. Some of you, because of the complicated sophistications of technological aspects that have to do with being more than just the local police insistences in every state. They join and work with the cyber crimes division and different ones within, federal aspects. I'm sure that we're all well acquainted. We might need to move in together. Um, I'm kidding. I want my own house. From these suits, liquid damages, punitive damages, exemplary damages in this state that caps above the $250,000. Um, that's how you get the money. And when you join in every business that you aspect and become joint and severally liable, that's the money comes from their what's the name law. I'm not going to say it. So they want to know that the contingency lawyer. You could step up any moment. I'm telling you how to get paid with myself. Look at all the charges. Like, next. Oh, we're not done. Let me stop because now we have under state level stalking and harassment. The cyber stalking is 18 USC code 2261A. This is federally insisted. So next we have for myself, these are charges for myself, these that I help the law out. We have larceny. Larceny is depriving of property or depriving another of property. We also, in this aspect, we have grand larceny as a form of falling under theft, which we also have from October 15th of last year, right, officer? You asked, were you going to still be at this location or would you be moved? So it was to be aspected to be insisted upon there, but this state being an at-will state, there was a form of witness tampering, and that's a bit of obstruction to your processes, correct? We're still with it. Like it, you can also use a pseudonym as when you are in, just like an author of a book, when you want to be anonymous or because the aspects could have an internal insistence or retaliation and or putting things and evidence under the piles. So this theft is 3103 penal code. We're getting to the, and it's a lot more. I'm helping you get the bag. Like, whoever helps me, I'm like, you help me, you help me. I'm gonna send you on a vacation. It's the criminal aspects is for the state. The state, that's when you go to, and when they pick your ass up, I'm going to have you extradited right back out of county, so I can start my lawsuits about anything that you've garnered during the time of your aspects of organized criminal activity that insist upon myself and my damages as to get all of your property and insisted upon the insistence of what goes to trial as to be held within the security bond, like it at the end of a trial, but this is motion for discovery and we're discovery channel, it's well, now we have criminal trespass across different properties, commercial and residential. This in the persons of these any facilitations, public or not, they can have their own charges too. Like that, that has nothing to do with me, but I know I want my piece. This is Penal Code 30.05. We also have criminal trespass aspects when you go to someone's apartment complex. That's criminal trespass. It's criminal trespass when you get to the person's door and you go in. Once you enter into that house, that's criminal trespass, or apartment, or a hotel room. A hotel room is where you have a legal right to be, but with your government issued ID. Therefore, you have an expectation of an adhesionary contract that garners you certain insistences and privacy torts. And so outside of this adhesion law and tort law, when you so as much go into, let's say, an apartment aspect where you have that's different than a hotel, because you in this aspect have a legitimate contract aspect. You did not, if most necessarily, had a legal meeting of the minds. You did not have you did not consult with counsel when you signed that. So it's adhesionary too, meaning it could be amendable and changeable, right? But just so the construct seems that you have a contract, this is different than a hotel. This means that in this aspect, after you criminal trespass, you so as much turn on a light switch, you turn on some water that aspects a different current of exchange that garners a bill to go up. You charge for it, becomes burglary of habitation. For the person as different than a hotel in this sensibility. So this, and let's keep this up. But so now we also have, because of the foreseeable aspects of continued combinations of schemes and furtherance, we have criminal conspiracy 1502. You know how many people are going to jail on conspiracy? Because it should be a foreseeable aspect of what the other persons, and you are liable for any other conspirators, whether they integrate, leave of that group, or go. And then if you go to another state and come back, you're gonna 5 more years, like it, with the intention to continue stalking by sabotage, invasion, sabotage and attack. This is literally sabotaging someone, invading where they work, where they live, and you implement all of your deployed elements or persons that are in this integrated group to be in proxy stalking towards a person, meaning they're the neighbors, but you're providing information, which is visual spying, which means that you are meeting the elements that is enacted or in enactment of terrorism. And it's not so much that these aspects aren't just literally leading you at stalking. As the person in Baltimore who developed your own task force, and the task force here, it is literally aspected as literal terror. You are radicalized individuals, and you meet the federal aspect threshold for the burden of proof for the prosecution to enact domestic terrorism. In a way, you're not taking over the government, but you are putting down the policies of the state's government with force, enacting a way that should be foreseeable to go into different state territories and go across. See, once it starts in the town, it gets in the city. Once it gets in the city, it starts stretching over to the next city. Once it gets to the next city, then they want to go over state to dissipate and break up the money so as to make traceless of your Smurf operations, enacting through a business or a residential aspect. And then you go into the next state, and then you go into multi-states, and then you get into a region, and now you have a regional hub problem, and then you have a national security issue. So this does enact and go to the highest instances with your embezzlement aspects, your fiduciary misallocation, into instances that need to be aspected as literal foreseeable conspiracy of precursory seditious conspiracy, putting down the policies of the United States with force, using any aspect to literally cause harm of assault or any instances that would be foreseeable, reckless endangerment by patients dumping, for example, violating EMTALA laws, or insisting upon aspect of literally theft of consumer goods, which we have as another aspect of medication, and different aspects that could do instances if it were to cause bodily injury, or conspiracy foreseeable aspects of causing bodily injury because but for the inundation, the but for clause in this state of the aspects of your enterprise. Next on on this insistence that I have for myself, and I'm not sure, I would be the, what's it called? They say the devil's advocate. But I would be the devil advocate's assistant from hell. Like we have reckless endangerment, Penal Code 2204. We also then have forgery, Penal Code 3221. The improper execution of document and the instances of illegal aspects of constructive evictions. It is against the law to aspect any type of eviction process. This is a fraudulent inducement. And of a person, if they've enacted a stalking incident number or policy number, which is a government record, that's a police report, within 6 months of that aspect, the person is it regards, even in the insistence, they have the right to relinquish a lease without penalty and not going on tenant tracker so as to be able to mitigate. They also have the right to stay in that place until a remedy is sought and the injury is absolved so as to not cause further exposure, which in a court insistence would have to insist upon an injunction for a stay of activity, and none insistent upon any enactment within the adhesionary law, meaning they have the right to change this aspect because there's not been a legal meeting of the minds. You did not go to that apartment complex with a lawyer, and therefore you were literally needing a place to stay. You could have been under duress. That's stressful if you need a place to stay and you need to sign whatever necessary, and you got in, you liked what you liked, but everything was not disclosed with you of all the fine print. You literally went in there, almost unassuming person, so you could enact an insistence of the Deceptive Trade Privacy Act violations again, and that's with the state. The state has its own DTPA violation, and as well as federal Deceptive Trade Privacy Act violations. Next, we're gonna go to and so your exit. So and this is fraudulent inducement. Then you execute it because, and even if you weren't aware of the entirety, you need to communicate within your office. That's called an insistence of good faith practice, that you don't enact an illegal eviction. That is considered forgery in the insistence and or an aspect of perjury, that you went in, you had to consult because you went through, and it takes money to aspect an eviction, and you literally went before you exit, you got the insistent documentation to go. That's called, you literally, that's lying, that's fraud, and that is forgery because you knew the aspects of what you were writing down were incorrect, or it's under the statute of forgery. I'm not all the way. We're here, right? Next, we going to so this forgery is with the intent to defraud or harm another. Harming is displacing someone out of their place of safe recluse into exposure after they have if you put on notice the insistent aspectual place of habitability that you are with the insistence of the Trafficking Victims Privacy Act violation and or any aspect of stalking, that you have the insistence, and this place has caused exposure, and they have not insisted upon relegating to what is federal aspectual mandate or of the state. They could be in violation of that place of habitability that you're at after a certain period of time. May it be 3 months or so. You have certain tenant rights in a hotel setting too. Next, we have fraud under Section 32. This is much of what a lot of these aspects aggregate to fall under as the statute. Fraudulent use of the possession of identifying information is for myself as well. You possess anything that's my past documents, photocopied aspects, and is piracy. Changing an aspect from its intended insistence in aspects of photo instances of personal identifying information, and or the aspect of piracy in the instance, I told you I had some garlic. In other matters, there are 4 forms of piracy. These are federal aspects when you go into this, and this links with that phishing, PHISHING, sending email that pretending to be aspects or legitimate insistences that the person clicks on unassumingly, and this is a deceptive aspect, and they enact malware into their phone, or they give away information. Then you have the aspect of phishing that involves text messages pretending to be big business in this insistence. This is aspects of phishing that aspects into fraud. And so that someone can put in their information to get a sweepstakes or something like that. And then you have these robot calls that go into these telecommunication centers that you've called somebody across state lines that works for this company, and this call went and was centered to this person, and they gave away information, or a call came through robocall. This also aspects the statutes for harassment and fraud. This is next. So, and with these constructive evictions, that's securing execution of document by deception. It We also have concealment of concealment of writing and tampering with documents. So, and this is under that forgery. And this is you forging a fraudulent eviction aspect after you've been put on notice, before the aspectual payment time or anything else about what's going on in regards to organized crime within my life or your life. And this has happened to, for myself. After this, we have libel, slander, civil. We have distortion of the perception of reality. The false light aspect makes someone not credible because of terroristic threats and that we're getting to, and other aspects that render them to be literally outside of their normal insistence of demeanor because of being aspected with mental anguish because of electronic means, harassment, and or invasive visual spy bugs inside of the place of habitability that are there, or deployed elements of persons that are in different aspects purposely with a agenda aspected from the leadership and lieutenant of your organized crime of persons to insist upon this matter. Next, we have defamation, and this defamation per se. So with the aspects of literally going around aspecting rumor and scandal. Rumor and scandal in this state can be charged as a crime. You do not keep your mouth closed when you're about people's business, and about false information, casting a false light, and it's been recorded or it's been aspected through subpoena ducis tecum with the constable, and he gets an aspect that you have told someone, and they have literally made their own private independent report to exonerate themselves before the point of admonishment, aspecting that this false light was cast in this type of way, and it aspects as a star witness for a civil tort that will be obliged. And as I've stated, casting a false light. And we also, for myself, have conspiracy to defraud the United States. White House. I'm not in the cabinet. I just got some dishes. 18 USC 371. See, I told you about these things. They start at your house, then they get in the neighborhood, then they start getting in the town, then they go into the next city, then they go over into the next city, then they get into the next state, and then it becomes a regional problem, and then it becomes cross-regional, then it becomes a whole national calamity. And this is where, and it's now you have people going into Mar-a-Lago and at the White House. You see it. That's why it's a matter of national security, Secret Service. This is conspiracy to defraud the United States. And it starts with fraud that furthers the aspect of more serious criminal offenses. DOJ. Thank you for the fraud aspects in other states. Can you come here? They probably are. They're just supposed to be. So we have copying and passing off someone else's protected substantial portions or of someone else's work is illegal. You taking people's videos and passing them off as your own. Let me say, you're looking through your electronic data tampering and or aspecting wiretapping violations, and you are peering into a person's place where they have a expectation of privacy and or any public area, and or you intrude into their device, falling under, of course, the statute of Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, in which anything inside of their web browsing history, any type of aspects that they put in a notes category under their, if they've implemented a notes section in their phone or their laptop or anything like that, or you're speaking queries into your AI assistant at any point that comes from your own brain's logic to insist upon a specific response valve that's particularly garnered. These clauses at the end of these queries are not just for play or just something that looks, it's very real and it's very legal because it's not copyrighted, but it's in a fixed, tangible form. These are not free floating ideas. Anything that goes into a fixed medium thus becomes the aspectual, insistent, biometric handshake of the person that is having the thoughts, that is interacting with the AI assistant, that aspects their own personal type of insistences. Even the detailing of your fingerprint that you put in that phone to aspect as a biometric indicator of passage. This aspects your, even the cadences in your aspectual speech and the insistences of your keystrokes. Keystroke analysis can be detailed of a person no matter if you change your phone, and even if you've used a phone in the United States. It is able to be determined what the aspectual cadences in your voice, that aspects within the microphone setting that comes into your phone, as you have insistences with security measures that measure your voice insistences, right? This is why cybercrime aspects at the federal level of insistence and not just local insistence. Sometimes they're both handshaking each other. So you're copying someone else's queries, someone else's thoughts. They put in a fixed medium. It's illegal. It's going to aspect wiretapping. It's going to aspect the Electronic Communication Privacy Act violations, electronic. We also have U.S. copyright law 17 U.S.C. 101. Stop taking people's notes, queries, text messages of thoughts. The law protects tangible expression of ideas, written text, software, audio, art. And as I stated, you're going to enact wiretapping laws 18 U.S.C. 2510 through 2522. This is Federal Wiretapping Act that's insisted here. If someone uses a device to intercept a communication and then copies or publicly displays that stolen content, they can commit two distinct legal violations. The first is illegal interception under Federal Wiretapping Act, Electronic Communication Privacy Act. As we've stated, I'm just helping myself to make sure I don't have to explain all of this to the investigator. We're clear right now. You can go over this, because I might be, in another perception of reality at the moment that are not delusional. We're not delusional, Mr. To say like it. So as well, we have the second portion of this, or the first is the illegal interception under Federal Wiretapping Act for the, as just stated, ECPA. I'm getting past that point. We're getting almost that 1 and 5. So next is still under that. The second portion is unauthorized reproduction, distribution of protected work under copyright law. If anything was original and fixed in a tangible medium, stop taking people's Instagram videos, stop taking all of that. That's to protect the medium. If it's inside, if it's encased in that phone, that's a protected medium. Not just you walking outside without your phone freely talking and screaming, and then you got to put everything in your phone, although only put in there what you would want your mother to see. Oh. So next we have intellectual property violations. These are the things, these IP clauses that you have at the end of your queries that you use with your AI assistant. Like these are various aspects, federal enactments of violations. Copying and re-uploading original YouTube videos constitutes copyright infringement. This is civil. Yet, willful infringement for commercial gain sometimes may be investigated criminally by investigators. You can't say that you weren't put on notice once you see this aspect, and this is what I'm making sure that my attorney ad litem knows about my wishes is to be affected, so that the prosecutor knows. High devil's advocate. This is just an outline so we don't miss anything. I need all of my money, and I'm sure you need to get paid. I know that the court that it happens in wants to get paid too and get some nicer things. Hi, Judge. So next we got cyber harassment. Yes, this is kind of, and severe cases, organized campaigns to maliciously harm an individual can be prosecuted with or under state and federal stalking and harassment. So these two always, of course, couple each other. Harassment precursory to coercion. Coercion go as a control used to aspect and implement stalking. Stalking is the insistence to the furthering combination of what aspects could be more aspectual serious crimes like human trafficking, or labor trafficking, which enacts an insistence of indentured servitude or unassuming deceptive trade insistences within adhesionary contracts to enact an unassuming person or person under duress needing a job to pay for your bill. So you didn't sign with legal counsel. So even that contract that you signed at that job is changeable, and it's not, it's that you didn't have a legal counsel. And then there's debt bondage that's aspected because you can only earn so much when the aspect knowing of cost of living is insisted upon, a reasonable minded insistence of parameters, and it's then thus violated very much absurdly. This is debt labor trafficking. So, now we're gonna go to what this is, fraud and impersonation for myself. It's lengthy, isn't it? This is RICO. So it's a fraud and impersonation, passing off stolen videos as one's own to siphon views or redirect ad revenue can constitute fraud and identity theft. This is where this is going. So we also have, and depending on how the accounts are monetized or aspects to the public, it could be theft of, it could be aspected under this fraud and identity theft. Next, we have for myself and others. Then you have theft of communication. This is tampering with consumer goods. This also aspects prescription fraud in this state, and attempting to obtain medication through misrepresentation. Even taking someone else's bottle can be charged. You have psychoactives, you take anything, you take things just so you can burp. You have a little acid reflux. That's still Medicaid, my Medicaid. You don't need to be in my acid reflux habit so I can have, an over insistence of acid in my damn stomach. I don't want to burn when I burp, Big Pharma, we were gonna tell them to take their acid reflux medication and to have people stop touching it, right? Hush doctors in the know, like it. So next after this, we have Oh yeah, because like I've stated, tampering with consumer um, products. Stop touching people's acid reflux medicine. This is Penal Code 2209, second degree felony with the intent to cause harm or fear. You know, acid reflux can get serious. And people, a lot of those, a lot of y'all have, you know, high blood pressure. Like those, that somebody takes your damn blood pressure medication, and like you know you had one, you get upset, and you at one point you know you're not, you know these people are not mentally stable, you know your boyfriend not mentally stable, he gets you upset, you ain't got the, you get and you know your adrenaline races up in aspects through your ocular systems, you got blurry vision, you ain't got no, you don't have a cigarette, like you get, and then you get this headache, migraine, and then you have a stroke, like it. People need to stop tampering with the last part of your blood pressure medicine. Like that's serious. It's not, oh, sometimes I can do without it. I'm like, you ran out of cigarettes too. You forget, like it. Yeah. So now we have, and with then we're still going. Devil's advocate. That devastating. Yeah, burden of proof. We have assault and aggravated assault, knowingly causing injury to knowingly causing injury by administration of medication in this type of way can be charged as a first degree felony. We also have terroristic threat, Penal Code 2207, to prevent or interrupt the occupation or use of a building, room, place, or assembly, or public place can be charged with terroristic threats in the manner that is aspecting force, full instances of harassment and or coercion. These are all just for me. I'm sure it's something that, you know, this wasn't popular, but this is going to be popular in court. I want all of my money. You know, I'm sure that the jurisdiction of what should happen to wants their money as well. You need new cars, and you want some drones too. Like the also next we have with this is to cause impairment or interruption of public services, public utility, communication, or public transportation. Obstruction. You know and then these are aspecting, you know, disrupting an aspect of which the public should have free traverse, and other aspects of constitutional violations, as well as criminal instances. These are all acting under terroristic threats. Like it, again, to cause impairment or interruption of public services, public utility, communication, or public transportation using signal jammers and aspects so that persons cannot implement, or you're literally aspecting malware to someone's phone by juice jacking or corrupt cables, or I'm sorry, compromised cables, or compromised consoles that you plug a cable into, when because you guys are working. Oh, everybody's charging their plug in there. You better charge yours in the wall. You just got to walk a little further. Use those legs. It's this is that, and so then what if your phone dies and then all of the lights go out and these people knew this and then they come in there to rob everybody, but you can't call freaking 911 because you've had somebody enter it to influence the conduct. I'm sorry, to cause impairment or interruption of public services, public utility, communication, or public transportation. You got to go have a baby. You got to go to have a court appointment. You have a doctor's appointment, and somebody's telling you everything is adhesion. You didn't sign a contract. Everything is at the discretion of public service. They have a duty of the standard of care, and they don't know what the hell you got going on. You have a duty to pass. It's especially public transportation. That's a common carrier. You have, that is an international aspect. You have the right to traverse the land. Next, and we're talking about, for me, this is because we got zero up in here for you. They left out all the people that said hi, 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 hi. Anyway, Next, under this aspect of terroristic threats, it's the 220.7 or what? My writing. But under this is to influence the conduct of activities of a branch or agency or federal government of the state or political subdivision by force, coercion, bribery of this insistence to have one's own sway, to have one's own type of opinion, to insist upon becoming a majority shareholder in this way through bribery and or a combination of malicious schemes that are with intent to cause harm and or financial harm in this type of way through these type of mechanisms of which insist upon coercion. This is under terroristic threats. And then to influence the conduct or activities of a branch or agency or federal government, the state, or any other of these charities or anything else that are enacted to help a network of persons or help myself or your cousin or your sister, and you literally want to aspect retaliation, which is again the statute crime and or civil instances not providing a reasonable accommodation under Title II of the Americans with Disabilities Act. In some instances, some of you got autism, some of you got these are things they may not understand the entire human brain aspectually. And again, autism is not having to do with anything that's mentally slow. It's just a different wiring of the brain's perception of thinking. That's still considered an aspect of disabling. Stop bothering people and you don't know about what's going on in their head. They could sue your ass with a Title II or a Title III enactment of non-reasonable accommodation or violation towards Americans with disabilities. Next, after this, and this if related to family domestic violence, this can be a second-degree felony based on severity, yet ranges from Class B misdemeanor to third-degree felony. With this influencing of conduct or activities of a branch or agency of federal government, the state, or political subdivision. You're bribing police officers, you're bribing state officers, you are interrupting, you're making traffic jams on purpose, you're running your cars with full velocity in front of public carriers like a bus, you're asking persons to literally go on the sidewalks and run people over with bikes. Come on, you're mental and you off your medications. Your mental medication is you if you take that shit, take it. So under this, so we're gonna go on with more of what happens to me. This is one of my particular ones, especially now in the current aspect of span that I am in this furtherance of engagement of organized criminal activity, 20 to 99 years. Humans have so much nuance and sensitivities. That's why AI will take over most jobs, because these persons are not being prosecuted in the legitimate aspectual ways that I've learned. And it is 20 to 99 years, not 2 years. The next is organized retail theft. This is Penal Code 3116. This is stealing from charities. You're stopping persons before their deliveries get to a charity that's to help somebody out that you've been using their web browser history, or you've been stalking them, so you know where they're at to get some type of access, some help to a church, to a school, to anywhere that aspects these services. This is organized retail theft. It's 3103 or 3116 of this particular stealing from charities. Penalties of this organized systemic theft aspects, which includes donated charity items for resale. This is theft 3103, unlawful appropriation of property. As well, in this instance, we have federal laws that relegate all of these aggregates as RICO, that can be charged for the DOJ if they would decide, because of the egregious nature of an inundation over a network of multi-cities within a state that calls on, your federal aspects, principles, like, you know. So this may also apply if operating over state lines or from a criminal enterprise. The next for myself, we have, I know it's getting prosecutors like this is impersonation of a public servant. I'm not going to say what type of aspect that I have been doing in that regard. I'm going to have more anonymity with this, but especially while on duty. This is Texas Occupation Code, and that's 1702 3875, Class A misdemeanor. You're stealing clothing, you're using people's credentials, badge, anything that's theirs, badge access to a building, anything that is used in that manner. You're wearing somebody's AMC theater clothes, you're wearing some, those are impersonation, but this is impersonation of a particular public servant. And it gets more serious if this is like a particular police officer aspect, or it can be a felony offense, Also under fraud and theft charges, a person using deception to justify obtaining money, funding, or employment. The act transfers into property financial crimes. So if you impersonated someone's job, you used their clothes, you used their badge access, you got into a building, and you've done any of this and garnered money inside of it, and this will also be able to be, drawn back as restitution and also forfeitures. The FBI has aspected about $4 billion in forfeitures from the organized criminal aspects, right? And all of your, your jury, all your TVs, you can go, it's going, all property gain will be seized. So this is, and it's also an aspect of theft by deception. So another form of theft is 32.51. You're just going to run concurrently, and depending on who your magistrate is, and some may be consecutively, but maybe if they're nice to have you. Right. Next we have felony to possess or use another person's identifying information, credentials, license number without their consent to obtain a benefit. So this is all under this fraud and theft by deception under impersonation. Next, we are having bribery. As I stated, bribery, and that is the more aspectual assistance. And then, of course, there's commercial bribery. Well, this is under 3602. Intentional offering, conferring, soliciting, or accepting, you accept or give something. Somebody told you want to have sex with them, and you had that you took it and they gave it. That's bribery. And it's comforting, it's aiding and abetting, and you are jointly and severally liable for providing comfort to that person. Without their comfort, they would not have had release to be calmed down or overly excited through a manic episode of psychotic instances of narcissism and or sociopathic instances. And so they have a maniacal sex drive, and you help to let them have fun. That's called comfort under civil law. Stop having sex with terrorists. Accepting a benefit to influence an official, public servant's discretion. You bribe a public servant, that goes up in insistence as well. Like for the opinion bribe sway, you use bribery to garner the majority stake in your investment share, or influence shareholders, and that harms the majority of the others. So I've been aspected. I did not know it would run this long. I just have to get all this out. So I'm quasi tired. To my lawyers, the future ones, and this attorney ad litem that aspects the wishes of the client, myself, these, I want to make sure we don't miss anything, because you want to want your contingency cut, and I want to make sure that that you didn't we weren't I wasn't deceptively aspected about anything, um, because this is tiring. This has been 2 hours almost, to the future judge. Mm, I guess everybody gonna get some new hammers and benches. Like, it's an Arm and Hammer. Like it. Um, Thank you.